Hello, everybody. My name is Lilia. I'm from Russia. I have studied agricultural management in Bavaria as MBA. And my husband Cedric and me prepared a presentation for you about Novag no-till drill in action and seed treatment. So Cedric, you can go on.
Yeah, so hello everybody, my name is Cedric. I studied agricultural engineering in Bavaria, and now I'm working at the French brand Novag, who builds no-till drills, and I want to tell you more about that. So let's start. Here you see a 6-meter model, so that's a T-Force Plus 640. It has 24 rows, so it's about 24 seeding elements, 12 here and 12 in the front. That we call them openers, and in total we have a row spacing of 0.25 meters. So we have a seeding width of 6 meters. It has here a big main hopper, which are divided in the middle. Together they have over 4,000 liters of capacity, and they both feed 2 distributor heads, which are here just rear of them. And then there you can see 2 auxiliary bins, those 2 black boxes with 120 liter each. Maybe I have to move that. So here in the picture you see this no-till drill has the ability to cut through straw and residues without really moving them. As you can see, we are seeding here, and it's everything stays where it shall stay, like on top of the soil, covering and securing the microbes from sunlight and heavy rainfall. In this situation, it was in East Germany. We seeded some OSR into wheat stubble, and we had fertilizer, a mix of peas and beans, plus some clover, and as well rapeseed, in those tanks. Later on, I will show you how exactly we manage to distribute so many products at one time. So let's have a look on the Tslot. Like the special thing about this drill, it's a Tslot. So we have one big disc with 2 blades on one on each side, which you see here. It's a blue-gray one. The disc is going completely straight, and it's cutting through the soil, so it's opening the soil. And then you have these blades which will cut a horizontal space on each side of the disc where we place the seeds and even the fertilizer. So you can see straw is cutted or even pushed into the slot, but the seed has a perfect contact with the soil. And the fertilizer which you place on the other side, it has no chemical burn to the seed because it's like 1 inch away from the seed. So if you do no-till, you need an intelligent downforce adjustment, because no field is the same. You have always changing soil types and like humidity, and so the penetration which is needed to get the opener into the ground is always different. And this we are measuring with a force bolt, which is placed here over the closing wheels, the press wheels. These are pressing the slot again together. So it stays closed after seeding, and no water can vaporize. So and this measuring bolt nose is calibrated to you put a factor, like how much weight you want to have remain on the closing wheels, and this bolt always knows how much weight is on the closing wheel. So if we come with a disc into harder soils, the disc wants to climb out of the soil, and then it releases force of the bolt. So the system, IntelliForce system, knows that it has to increase the hydraulic pressure on the cylinder. And this, so that the disc keeps in the soil and at the adjusted seeding depth. And the same with softer soil. If the opener runs into softer soil, the disc will cut easily in with the same downforce. So more weight will rely on the press wheels as on the force sensor, and that then the system is decreasing the hydraulic pressure on the cylinder. So that's the sensor is on 1 or 2 or 3 openers on the drill, and measures the force, and then for the complete working with, it's adjusting the necessary force to keep the openers in the soil. So here an example, these are cover crops seeded into wheat stubble 18 days after seeding. You can see here some straw is pushed into the slot, but because of the wing form of the blade, the seeds have contact with the soil and they emerge in dry conditions. Okay, here again the oilseed rape drilling, beginning of August last year. So the main hoppers are divided right here. They have each their own seeding rotor and their own air pipe. So here is the fan, and then here the seeds will fall into the air pipe, and this hopper here has its own air pipe, and then again 2 distributor heads. So every opener gets fertilizer and peas and beans, but it's always on the one side and the other thing on the other side. And with those auxiliary bins from the rear, we can inject these seeds into the airstream of each of these ones. So we put the OSR into the airstream, airflow of the peas and beans, and the clover into the fertilizer stream. The fertilizer application was very low, so it wouldn't bother the clover seeds, as we can see in the pictures later. Here that is 15 days after drilling. The field is getting greener, as we can see, but all straw and all the stubble are still remaining in place. As we can see here, it's a zoom in, like the peas are developing well. And now, same time after drilling, the rapeseed is coming and the clover seeds are developing. And here a pea again. So you can barely see the rows, like one feet or 10 inches row spacing here. And then further, this is on the 15th of September, so about 1 month after seeding. The field is getting green, and we can see the clover developing, and the rape as well. That's end of October, so 2.5 months after drilling, and the beans and peas were about 2 to 3 feet high at this moment, and you can see the rape quite huge. And here a closer look to the root, and nice straight roots down into the soil. Great. Okay, another example of the Novag. What's she capable of? We did a corn trial in Germany. That was on the 7th of May, 2020. We had sandy loam with some gravel, so the water capacity wasn't that high of this region or the soil there. The field size was 11 acres. The cover crops were sprayed dead on the 23rd of April to prevent that they will consume more water. Already April and May were quite dry and hot last year in Germany. And yeah, we had a plant density of 28,000 plants per acre, and yeah, put some mineral fertilizer, nitrogen and phosphorus on. We had a 30-inch row, so we have the ability to lock the rear openers so they won't get into the soil if we don't want them. And in the front, we had every second opener into the soil. So this resultates in a 30-inch row at this configuration of the drill. And we could plant 6 rows of corn. Okay, let's have a look at the developing of this maize. This is 3 weeks after planting. It looks quite bare. The farmer was his first try in no-till, so you can see a little bit of the cover crops, rest of it. And now we get to the 9th of July. So, and here a comparison with the neighbor field. This maize was planted 4 weeks earlier than the Novag maize. This maize is on a conventional tilled field, and it's 3 months after planting. On the right side, we see the Novag maize 2 months after planting, which tries to catch up, but is still, yeah, let's say 1 or 2 feet lower compared to the conventional maize. But just 6 weeks later, this is the same spot picture. The picture is taken from a tractor cab. You see the maize is the same height. Left again the tilled conventional corn, and right again the Novag corn. And you can see the Novag corn is much greener and didn't suffer so much from the drought. So there's still water in the soil and still growing. Let's get to the harvest results. Harvest was end of October. From May to October, there was 11 inches of rainfall. The Novag corn from this farmer on this field yielded 140 bushels per acre. His other corn he has planted, conventional, was an average of 120 bushel per acre. And yeah, within this range, so you can see the yield advantage of the Novag here just because of water and maybe some other effects. So yeah, the farmers told us that the maize looks healthier and stronger through the summer days, and it's usually it has a little smaller or slower YAS development, but it catches up around beginning of August with the other maize. And now I will proceed to another example where it then grows higher. You can see here the singulation. There are some videos on YouTube from Novag how the singulation is working. We do it with the rear auxiliary bins, and you can see it's not that perfect, but we're working on it to make it more accurate, but it will never reach the same accuracy like a planter, but it's still quite good, especially for corn. And we can go to smaller rows if we want to do some silage corn. Yeah, so for your information, that's Liliia. She's 6 feet tall. So we have about a 10 feet tall maize here on this picture. Both pictures and both sides are showing Novag maize, which was drilled on the 25th of May last year. but the pictures were taken, yeah, like less than 3 months after planting. Maize on the same field was planted with conventional planters, so the farmer wanted to made a big trial with other planters to have a look, yeah, what works best. And yeah, on the same field, the other planters all planted 10 days earlier, but at this time the Novag maize was half meter taller, so that's 1.5 feet was a Novag maize higher compared to the other ones. Yeah, and now Liliia will continue the other part.
Yes. So last year in September, we were in the Netherlands. We reseeded the grasslands there. Here you see also the picture from the demonstration. Here I will show you a small video about the opening the slot by the hand, so that you can see the grass seeds, and then the camera will show you how Novag is working. So I will start. Small grass seeds. So, and Novag is doing its job. From the left side, you see the picture of the slot opened by the hand. And from the right side, you see the field, also seeded in the Netherlands by Novag. And here you can see spot of the drought this year.
Damages, yeah.
Yeah, drought damages. So it needed to be reseeded. So here you see the field where the farmer made a deep mulching directly before the seeding. And you see directly the seeding rows, exactly. And in the first hopper, we had Orts and rye. And in the second hopper, we had grasses. Auxiliary tank is the black behind the drill. We had Clover mix. 3 pictures from 10 days after the seeding in the same field. So from the left side, you see the seeding row with clover on it. In the middle, you see the germination of grass seeds. And from the right side, you see the seeding row with clover. So the same field. The photo was made in the beginning of November. It's nearly 2 months after the seeding, and you can barely see the seeding rows with rye and Ort. And you can also see that the field, which was mulched very short, is now recovered. So also the picture from the same field, also from beginning of November, you see directly the Orts and rye. You can go on, I think.
Thank you, Liliia. Okay, now we come to the compost seed treatment part. I will show you another video. So just for your information, this was our first time to do this, and it's a quite small scale, so don't wonder about the concrete mixer we used to do that. And yeah, here you see the list of what components we used. So it was about 2 pounds of compost per acre, like, well, how many seeds we need per acre. We put like 2 pounds compost, and some fulvic acid, yucca palm extract to glue everything a little bit together to get a compost hold on the seeds, and some silica component. We mixed all this stuff, like all the lower three, into the right amount of water per mixer. And then when everything was wet and a little bit like honey-like gluey with the yucca palm extract, we put the compost into the mixer, and this was led to soak in for 48 hours. So have a look on the video. Pouring it in, let it mix. The silica is dusting away a little bit, but that's why. Yeah. Yeah, and this was led to soak in for 24 hours, or 84, 48, sorry, is possible as well. So this on the left side is some wheat, which was left on trailer overnight for soaking in. The layer is about 1 feet deep to not, that there can get enough air to the seeds, because the compost needs oxygen. And on the right side, you see the barley, some barley. After 24 hours of soaking in, it gets quite dry then again. But yeah. And this we seeded then with the Novag of the customer into the fields and made some comparison with non-treated or conventional seeds. So here you see the seedlings 10 days after drilling. On the left side, the biological treated ones, and on the right side, the conventional with fungicide inoculation. If you have a look on the roots, you can see here the roots are gluing to more soil, so there's a glomalin in the game. And on the right side, the soil is more sticky, like compacted, and less on the roots. And then another picture 3.5 weeks after drilling. Now on the left side, the untreated version, and on the right side, the treated version. You can see the root mass is slightly higher, and there's more soil stick to the roots already. We have to say this farmer is again first year no-till, so nature takes some time to get back where we want it, like more microbiology activity, and but this is possible with in the first year just by the seed treatment. Just one more time, the products for seed treatment which we used, just fulvic acids for the seedling itself, silica for the plant, later then the yucca to feed the microbes and to glue everything together, like the quality compost to the seeds, and then some humic acids for the compost to activate the microbes in it to feed them. So the key is quality products in small amounts. So for 100 kilogram of seeds, it costs, all this together cost us about $8 for wheat. And if you want that per acre, it's less than $5, just to give you some figures. Then a little comparison of compost tea versus seed treatment. So there's the topic of compost tea application during drilling. To my mind, it's much logistical work if you have to focus on the drill and all the seeds you have to refill and other products maybe. And then if you have the compost tea, which needs to be ready and takes maybe 1 or 2 or 3 days to prepare it. And then another point is you need some more technology to get those application rates exactly. And yeah, this is all stuff which can put the risk higher for unwanted interruptions during drilling. Yeah, even the cleaning of the small tubes is needed. Otherwise, there might be the biological film that can start to rot. And then if I do a next seeding, there will be this rotting milieu or area in the tube. And this will maybe influence the compost tea, which I have freshly brewed, to bring it again to the seeds. Yeah, against that, we have with the seed treatment a direct inoculation of seeds and higher power of emergence from the seedling, because we are giving it what it's needed, what it needs, and the biology is right there where we want to have it. And to avoid some bridge building in the hopper of the drill, like over the seed rotor, if we do the seed treatment, the stuff is quite wet, so it might build a bridge over the turning seed rotor. To prevent that, we can install an auger in the hopper. That's still on the construction list we have to think about, but that would be a possibility to prevent that. So anyway, the Novag is available with seed sensors, so I would always know if something would get stuck. Yeah, so thank you for your attention.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and yeah, that was our presentation.